Okay, the second one, again, 100% Chardonnay. As I said, all of our white wines are 100% Chardonnay. This is what I might call magic. This is what I might call our, I suppose our core white Burgundy. You could say that all of the white wines we make are white Burgundies, but this is labelled simply as a straight white Burgundy Chardonnay because it's, again, a blend of several different vineyard sites. The third wine that we'll look at is a Meursault. That's from a specific vineyard site, a specific village. This wine, the 2005 white Burgundy, is drawn from many different villages. Now, a lot of our friends and neighbours in Burgundy will very often tend to treat what they would consider their simplest wine, their entry-level wine, their straight Bourgogne Blanc or Bourgogne Chardonnay, as a very basic wine, something that they will effectively discard all the fruit that they don't use from their other villages into. We take a rather different approach. We feel that this is a critically important wine. It's one of the core wines that we can actually make a reasonable volume of. It's one of the wines that comes in at one of the lowest price points that we operate, and as such it's a wine that universally is going to have a broader appeal to a large number of people than a number of our other wines. So we attach a great importance to it, and with that in mind we put in a lot of very high quality fruit to it. And so 60% of the fruit that goes into this is from the Côte de Beaune vineyard, south of where we are, from three sectors: the Meursault sector, the Puligny-Montrachet sector, and a tiny amount of old vine Chardonnay from Pommard. Now, Pommard is actually a Pinot Noir zone, but we work with someone who has a small plot, tiny in fact, of old vine Chardonnay in the Pinot Noir area, in the Pommard area, and it adds a great deal of richness and depth and complexity. So 60% of the fruit for this is from the Côte de Beaune. 25% of the fruit from this, again, all Chardonnay, is from about an hour south of us in the Mâcon region of Burgundy, from a vineyard called Mâcon Vanzel. It's a beautiful vineyard site, very mineral. So you have a lot of minerality, a lot of acidity, not so much fruit from there in terms of fruitiness in the wine. And then 15%, the final 15%, is from a vineyard called Saint-Romain, a village called Saint-Romain. And that's a little bit nearer to us at home and typically has a little more complexity and weight than basic generic Bourgogne fruit would do. So it's a blend of all those sites. Again, in line with the Chablis, it's not a wine that we give a lot of barrel treatment to. It doesn't require a lot of oak aging. It's not going to benefit from that. The only wine, or the constituent wine that goes into this that has any barrel aging, is the Saint-Romain, which is 15% of the blend. And therefore you could say this wine has had 15% oak treatment and is 85% stainless steel tank fermented. So again, you'll see stylistically that it's really pretty clean, it's pretty pure, it's 12.5% alcohol, it's not incredibly heavy. It does have a bit of richness to it, and that's partly because it's been in bottle for about 2 years, 4 months, and has therefore put on a little bit of weight. But also, and a lot of people don't mention this, in a great year like 2005, one of the only drawbacks is that even wines at an entry level, an opening level, even those wines need quite a lot of time to actually mature and bottle before they're really ready. Now, there are some wines it's very, very difficult economically to hang on to until you release them because they might take 10 or 15 years to come round. That's not the case with this, but it's undoubtedly benefited hugely from having 2 years in bottle prior to us sort of releasing it to Lardo to work with. So it's showing really nicely now. I think you'll see that it does have a lot of softness and minerality and purity, but there's a little bit more richness of fruit, quite citric as well. The fact that it's 100% Chardonnay and you taste it alongside the Chablis should be indicative, over and above anything I say, that there is actually something to the French concept of terroir. We haven't treated these wines in wildly different ways. As I said, the first wine, the Chablis, was 100% stainless steel tank fermented. This one is 85% stainless steel tank fermented. The vinification has been very, very similar. Sure, there's 1 year age difference, and so this is 1 year older. But I think you can see how stylistically different the wines are, and that both of them probably differ quite considerably to what a lot of people's mental perception would be of Chardonnay in general. So that's the straight white Burgundy, our sort of core house white.
Michael, when was the last time you had the 2005 Burgundy before you came here?
We don't have it at home, so I've got to come to Chicago to taste it. The last time I had it was in Washington DC on Saturday, but before the trip to the US, it would have been back in August. when I was last
There
here.
last year.
So yeah, we're on to 2006. So hurry up. And,
I'm taking my time with this one.
that's the 2005 White Burgundy.